My name is Lotus. Oh, oh yeah. Okay, thank you. I love you, Laura. Hi, my name is Lotus La Loba. I am an emotional projector. You guys will learn more about what that even means, but I am here to help you all understand how the feminine divine energy works with human design. Because they go hand in hand, and it's an amazing experience once you figure it out and realize that human design just really allows you to live a more easeful life, helps you to slow down and enjoy yourself. So I'll be coming from that perspective. Then we have the beautiful Charliie. Okay, it's giving me wholeness identity coach. She is a splenic projector, and her whole mission is to help you understand who you are, and that who you are can vary from experience to experience and moment to moment. So she'll be coming in from that perspective of really helping you cultivate your identity when it comes to human design. Last but certainly not least, we have Laura OG, okay? And that's my self-projected projector, okay? And she is a human design coach. First off, she's mind-blowingly brilliant when it comes to human design, and she's going to help us understand the nuances in human design. She also specializes in helping children know what their design is so that their parents can navigate their lives. Because one thing that we've all heard from all of our clients is, can you imagine if we had human design when we were children? Imagine how easeful our lives would have been. How easy it would have been for us to understand our purpose and how to show up in it and how to be our authentic selves. So she's helping families do that right now in this moment. She'll be coming from that perspective as well. And we like to call ourselves the HD Hunnies or whatever. It's really a random name, but I think it encompasses the fact that we just want life to be sweet, and we are trying to find ways, we are finding ways to make that happen, not only for ourselves, but for people that look like us. You know, I think if we know one thing is that wellness is very whitewashed, and so is human design for some reason. And this is a great way for us to decolonize that and come back to our truth and really step into our power as a people and have a good time doing it. So I am really grateful that y'all all chose to be with us tonight, to hang out, to kiki, and more importantly, to learn more about yourself so that you can step into your own personal power. I just think that that's really beautiful, and I just praise you for being able to do something like that. Y'all are dope, and I can't wait to really get into it. So without further ado, are we ready, ladies?
Yeah. Okay. So I guess I can kick off the like, what is human design? Do y'all see me? Because I'm just staring at Lotus right now, and that's fine. But
I'm
like,
staring at you. I'm
okay,
staring
do you
at
see me? Y'all
you.
see me? Okay, because it's just like I was like, okay, yes, y'all see me. All right. So I'm gonna talk about what is human design. A lot of you might have some kind of like idea. Some of y'all are here and are my friends, and I've been like, girl, what is your design? Or just give me your birthday. And you have, and I've been like, oh, kind of telling you about yourself. But we're going to talk about, in general, what human design is and what it stems from. So for me, I always say it's a little bit easier to talk about what human design is not. So first and foremost, it is not a belief system. Okay, you don't have to believe anything. It is not a religion, so you can be a person of faith and still tune in and tap into your human design. Um, Contrary to belief and what you might see on the internet and especially on Instagram, it is not a cult. So, like, congratulations, we're not having y'all do something crazy. And most importantly, this is not something that was made up by white people. Like we just said, the whole wellness space can feel very whitewashed. And I know when I first went into human design, I was just like, oh, okay. But I assure you, the things that human design is made of has already existed way before all of us. But so human design is pretty much a relatively new tool of self-discovery. It's pretty much known as the science of differentiation because as you will start to learn, we are literally all uniquely designed different. It's like, congratulations, we might all be projectors or manifesting generators, but it goes deeper than that. It's just like, you might know some Leos, and you'll be like, a July Leo is completely separate from like an August Leo. And but so it shows just how unique we all are. And like I said, it's a logical synthesis of two streams of science, traditional and modern. And we're going to get into that in a few minutes. But for some of y'all that might be like, okay, but where did this come from? Like, what is human design? Like, what is it? I like to start by talking about the synthesis story. And it's pretty much a story that if you typed in, human design, you might have seen the origin story, but we're just going to briefly break it down. So, a white dude named Alan Robert Prakawire. He's also known as Ru Arahu by himself and his students. He was vacationing off of the island of Ibiza, Spain in January of 1987. So, some of us might not have been alive. He was out there living his best life. Now, at some point during his trip, he may have come across some potent psychedelics. My question was like, was it LSD? Was it mushrooms? What kind of weed? Where can I get some? Regardless, he came across some potent psychedelics that led him to seeing light beings. And these light beings pretty much transmitted messages to him for over a span of 8 days. So my man was out here in Spain tripping balls for 8 days. And during this time, those light beings, he referred to them as the voice, and he referred to himself as the reluctant mystic, like, oh, so humble, just, you guys came to me. Nonetheless, though, this is the glamorized story that you will find when you type in the origin of human design. Now, did this happen? I don't know. Is it true? Probably. I don't know. But what we do know is that Alan or Ra, he did not invent human design. Instead, he synthesized it. And when he came out of this trip, he interpreted these cosmic messages as a system, or he interpreted these messages of 5 systems and made it into human design. So human design is a synthesis of Western astrology, the I Ching, or if you look at it, it looks like I Ching, the Kabbalah, the chakra system, quantum physics, and did I say them all? Did we Western? We said astrology, I Ching, Kabbalah, chakra, and quantum physics. Okay, so those 5. So as you can see, a mixture of modern and traditional science. And he decided that it was his duty to spread this message and write his own interpretation of the I Ching. And now we have human design. So once again, I reiterate that it's not something that he invented. We are taking systems that have always been around, and we are now just putting them into this grand system that once you start to break things down, it's like, oh, this makes so much sense. So from your personal human design chart that we had you all have tonight, you can gain so much insight about yourself. You can learn about your health, your psychology, your strengths, your limitations, your talents, your gifts. But for me, I think the most important thing is your potential. It shows us that we all have a unique design and we all have a specific purpose to fulfill or not. You don't have to do anything you want to do, stay black inside, call it a day. But human design is pretty much your life manual. It's your operating system. It's like, if you think about it, you don't buy anything today without instructions. And it's just like, we're a whole complex being. Like, why didn't we come with like how to work with this, how to use this? Instead, we've all been assimilated to act and do the same things in society, whether it's, going to traditional schools or working traditional 9-to-5s. We're all taught to pretty much do the same thing. And human design shows you that, wow, that's crazy because you're not like this person or you're not like that person. So human design and the body graph is going to give you a precise map and a user guide that will give you access on how you are genetically designed to engage with the world, because it's not the same. Everybody is here to do different things. And it also shows you your inner unique guidance system. So we each are out here to do and choose things and make decisions differently. We all are not designed the same, and we're going to explore that tonight. So like I said, this is a powerful, accurate, beautiful system that really gives you a blueprint on how to navigate your life. And unlike your, like if you've ever taken personality tests or anything, those could change over time because, your personality, you grow. But human design will never change. And it will never change because it is the information is from your natal chart. It is your exact birthplace, time, and date that makes up who you are. So as you're looking at your chart, you're going to see that you your chart shows your imprint of your energy at the exact moment that you were born. And that is going to be seen through the black side of your chart. Anything black, you see little black lines. That is what we call your black, your conscious, or your personality side. And anything that you see in red is known as the unconscious side. And this was the part of you that was genetically made in the universe 3 months before you were actually born. And this red side is known as the red side, the unconscious side, or your design side. So together, this makes up the whole you. And we'll start breaking down piece by piece the whole story of you and what everything means. But today, we're really just going to talk about your type, your strategy, and authority. And over time, though, as you learn to interpret your body graph, you will discover your type. You will know how to make your best decision. You will know how to manage your energy levels, and you'll know which pitfalls and obstacles to watch out for and to look for. So, pretty much the gist of this workshop is to show you that by following the strategy for your type and your authority, life can become less hustle, more flow. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So with that, I always like to kick things off as this little story, analogy, whatever. You got your bags packed. You're on this trip to becoming a better you, or just understanding yourself, okay? Now, I'm a New Yorker. JFK is right by me, so we're at JFK. Everybody, we're meeting up in front of the, getting our, the booking area. We're all meeting up there. We all got our luggage. We're ready to go. But as everybody knows, post 9/11, there's something called the TSA that we all have to make sure we go through. Like, did you make sure that you don't got like more than 4 ounces on you? And nonetheless, we're about to take this trip. So we have to go through the TSA. And in human design, the TSA is going to be known as our energy type, our strategy, and our authority. And these are the big 3 things that we will be discussing tonight that will start to give you a practical idea of human design, how you can implement it immediately. And it might make things make a little bit more sense for you in terms of how you are interacting with the world currently. So I've said a lot. With that being said, I'm going to have one of the ladies kick it off on us starting the energy type.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna go over energy types with y'all, but before we do, how are we feeling, right? Because one thing we realized that human design can feel like a lot. It's like, whoa, all of this is happening in this chart that I don't fully understand what I'm looking at. I just see shapes, I see different colors. This is a lot, right? But I want to make sure that we're feeling good, we're feeling up to the task, because right now we're going to get into the energy types, and they are projectors, manifestors, generators, manifesting generators, and reflectors. So what I want you to do is drop your energy type in the chat, okay? Because we want to see who's here, who's representing. We got 3 projectors right here. I see another projector. Okay, yes, projector. Okay, manifestor. I love to see it. Generator. Okay, what's up, boo?
I'm waiting for that reflector, baby.
Chesney, I don't know what's taking you so long, girl.
Where's that reflector?
Thank you. Yes. Oh, I love this. We have essentially every energy type in the room, which is just such a beautiful experience. And we're going to learn why. Okay. So let's start off with the projector, because projectors are leading this. So of course we have to start off with ourselves. Okay. Projector is the newest energy type, actually. So there's a fun story that I learned about human design when I first started. And it was that way back when, during the time of kings and queens and like ancient Egypt and Rome, that a lot of the leaders were manifestors, right? They had these grand visions in life, and they were like, oh my God, I see the pyramids here and I want to do this there. But they didn't have the energy to actually bring it to life. So they used generators to build out these dreams, right? But then that became a bit problematic, right? Because you're enslaving people. We know that that's not cool and we shouldn't be doing that, right? Because generators can just do, and you'll learn more about that in a little bit. So they can just build and build and build, and they have this energy to withstand that type of, they have the endurance to live out these manifestors' dreams. So what ends up happening is that that's being reflected by reflectors, because that's what y'all do. We're gonna get into that in a little bit. And then it became problematic because people are not living their lives because they're doing someone else's dream and someone else's vision without permission, without consent. So projectors came into the mix to help combat that. So projectors are guides. We're here to guide, we're here to lead. But the only way that we are able to do that is if our community gives us the okay to do so. And that was how evolution kind of built in to fix what happened in the beginning of like, oh, we have to balance this out. So we kind of came to balance things and make sure that we're not overwhelming our communities and that we're actually giving our communities what they need. So having a projector in your life allows you to just really see who you are and what you're here to do. Like I said before, we're here to guide. We're also not here to work. We're not designed to work at all. It's not our thing. Literally 80% of our time should be resting and playing. So I don't know any of my fellow projectors in here if that resonates with you, but when I first learned that, I was like, this makes so much sense because we can't produce our own energy. And then that other 20% is meant for us to work, but essentially to live in your purpose and to guide and to help other people know who they are and what they're here to do as well, right? So that's the first energy type, and it's 20% of the population, okay? Laura, Charlie, do you want to add anything in there before I go to the next energy type?
Nope, you're good.
Charlotte? Okay. Next up, we have manifestors. Manifestors are here to get things started, okay? They are extremely innovative. I live with a manifestor. I don't know how y'all do it. Y'all minds and your genius is just on a whole other level. You guys do well with freedom and authority. You guys need to have control over what it is that you're expressing and when you're expressing it. That is very important. Like, someone try to tell y'all what to do, it's not really going to end well for them, right? You guys also understand that you guys are just doing things that are unheard of. And I actually want to say this because I see a lot of manifestors struggle with this. You are doing things that are innovative. So a lot of times you're going to be talking to people in your community and they're not going to fully understand your vision. That's okay. Continue dreaming that dream and living out that vision. That's what you're here to do. You give us the new stuff. You give us the new, okay? It's also not your business to worry about the rest of the people. Like, just dream, visualize, show up, and let us know what your vision is. And those that can grasp it will help you live it out. And those that don't, they'll just wait till it's here and they'll be like, oh, that's what you meant. And it'll be fine, okay? That's 9% of the population. So again, please take into consideration, like 9% of the world has this ability that you have. So I know it can feel a little isolating when you're communing with the rest of the population and people is kind of like, that's never been done before. Like, that's what you're here to do though. You're here to break all of those glass ceilings, okay? Anything you guys want to add for manifestors?
Yes, actually, I might want to just a note for projectors. So the interesting thing about manifestors and when we talk about energy types is literally we're talking about the aura that one carries. And the thing about the manifestor is that they have a closed and repelling aura. And that could be like, oh my God, don't talk about me like that. But no, the serious thing is, if you think about it, that somebody that has an energy that is supposed to be independent, I'm gonna do it when I want it, and I'm gonna, like, I can let y'all know, or I could just do it. It tends to throw and repel people off when they don't know you. And as we get into the strategy, we're gonna show how to kind of make that repellent a little bit like more palatable. But the thing about the manifestor is you have to know that, you know, some people may naturally not be drawn to your aura, and that is A-okay, because you're not here for everybody. And that's the beautiful thing about human design, is that you're going to start to realize that niches and the riches, like, we're not here for everybody. Our people will come to us energetically and it will be all good. And just going back to the projector, so if the manifestor aura is closed and repelling, the projector aura is what they call focus and absorb. So if you ever meet a projector and you're not a projector yourself, or you're a projector, it's that instant, oh my God, you know me. How do you know so much about me? Why are you feeding into my soul? So as we continue to move through these energy types, I want you to really think about this on a literal level with energy. Like, if you know somebody that's a projector, what is your relationship? When you talk to them, do they feel like they are tapping in and helping you solve the world. When you know a manifester is your manifestor best friend, it's like, only I can tolerate this person. Anytime we go out, people are like, they're rude. They don't say anything to like, so it's just interesting to literally pay attention to the auras. And with that being said, Lotus, back to you.
That was like everything. And I'm going to need you to do the aura part for the other. Okay,
I got you.
Yes, love that, because that is so true. And one thing that I love is that we all have these different perspectives, but they make this whole vision for you guys to be able to take in the information. Yeah, 100%. Manifestors, you guys are literally walking geniuses. I literally feel like I'm living with Albert Einstein, and it sounds like what? But since I'm like, I don't know how you do it. It's a lot for a projector. Okay, so generators,
I
right?
want to say something to my manifestors.
Talk your shit. I'm ready.
Can you hear me? Yeah. So manifestors, I do want to say this, because even as I was like reviewing and remembering things that I know about manifestors, clearly I'm not one, so I don't know what the experience is like. But I do want to remind you to embrace your bigness. Like, you are literally here to be big. You are here to initiate. You are here to make noise. Your aura is going to do one of three things, right? It's either going to bring people towards you that are meant for you. It's going to repel people, but that is because it's meant to teach them. It's helping them to evolve, right? And then there's just going to be people who just don't mess with you at all, right? There's no feeling towards you. They're pretty neutral. And whatever response you get, you're meant to get. Your thing is just to stay true to yourself. Be authentic. It doesn't matter who understands it, who doesn't. Like, you are here to make noise. And in that making noise and doing what you literally are here to do what you want to do. And one thing I want to like iterate is that, you know, the world try to tell us to be right, to be selfless, right? We have to, in order to help people, we have to be like sacrifice ourselves. Or sacrifice what we desire. Don't do that. That's not for you. That rule does not apply for you. You are here to do whatever you want. And it's in whatever you want, your desires, that we're all gifted. We all are going to benefit. So I really like want to push that, because I'm all about people doing what they want. And when I think about manifestors, I'm like, yes, do what you want. F that. Like,
this is Smokey's out here.
Yeah, let people feel what they're going to feel about it, but it's for you to just show up, show out, and be unapologetic in it. People are going to criticize you. It's okay. That has nothing to do with you. It's more about them. So I do want to say that do what you want to do and be unapologetic about it. And I know that it may be hard, maybe a little challenging at first, but practice it. Practice doing it. And it'll get comfortable after a while. You'll realize you're going to align with your people, and you're going to align with the things you want to, that you are called to align to. Like, what you desire to do is your soul wanting to do that thing, and it's meant for you. So embrace it.
First off, that was a word. Thank you, Priestess Charlie. Secondly, I definitely want that message to radiate across all the energy types, because it really does apply to every single one. And you'll start to learn more about why that is in the strategy part. But it's so important for you to really hold on to the words that Charlie just spoke. Like, you're not going to be for everyone. And if there's one thing that I've gotten very comfortable with in life because of human design, is knowing that I am not for everyone. It has changed the dynamic in all of my relationships, because there are just things that I understand within my design where I'm just like, look, I'm just not for you. And that there's no love lost. There's nothing like that. And having that type of knowingness of yourself changes how you show up in the world completely. It changes all of your experiences. And I really do believe that human design has that ability to give you that new foundation to stand on, of like, I just may not be for you. So can you understand how amazing that is when you're in a space and you're wondering, should I take this opportunity? It sounds good, but it doesn't feel good. And then you can look back at your design and check in with yourself and realize, like, just because it sounds good doesn't mean that it's good for me. That changes everything. And I just want us to keep that in mind as we go through the rest of the energy types, okay? So manifestors, you guys are 9% of the population. Generators. So a lot of times too, in human design, depending on what you research and you look up, they group generators and manifesting generators together, but we've separated them for this one-on-one. And we'll go into why they're kind of grouped a little later on. But for generators, you guys are builders and problem solvers, okay? Like, you guys can make it happen. You guys can help people bring their ideas into life, and as well as your own, okay? You also can cultivate your own energy. Not every energy type can do that, and we're going to talk about what that means and why that is in a little bit. You also, once you start, you can't stop. So I don't know if you guys have also struggled through that, but you start something and you know it's not feeling good, but you just have to complete it because you've already committed to it. That can be a bit of a sore point for generators. So that's why it's important to do what you love. Do what you love. Do what makes you feel super satisfied and excited in life. Put your energy towards those things. Just because you have the energy to do it, just because you're capable and you have the capacity, doesn't mean you have to do it. And that's super important, understanding that, because for energy type that just has so much energy, you feel like, well, I have the energy, so I mean, I don't want to do it, but I can get it done. But do you love it? Does it excite you? Does it satisfy you? And if it's not a hell yes to any of those, don't do it. And don't feel guilty about it either. Don't feel bad later on, like, oh, I wish I could help my friend out or could have done this thing to help out. It was not for you, and trust and believe in that. Once you do that too, and you start to understand what satisfies you, what energizes you, you'll realize that you can sustain your energy as well. You guys will be able to have you have consistent energy, but it'll feel more like you're in control, like you have authority over that experience. Where a lot of times generators just feel like I'm just doing all these things, and there doesn't really necessarily feel like there's a direction there. Your direction is a satisfaction. Your direction is, I really love what I'm doing and the purpose behind it. Ladies, you guys have anything else you want to add to that for generators?
So whereas the manifester, the aura is closed and repelling, the generator, for both generator and manifesting generator, the aura is open and enveloping. So it's like you have one of the auras that people are just drawn to you. People are just like, oh my God, come here, be my friend. So yeah, that and once again, that kind of plays into that. You don't want to stop. You become a people pleaser if you, how do I say this? It's just, okay, I'm pausing too long, but essentially I'll get back to that. But just remember, it's open and enveloping. People are drawn to you. People will naturally come to you. You'll have people telling you your business and being your best friend, and just know, because it's the aura. The generating auras just know that they know who and what is right for you. And you can always trust your instinct of pulling the right people, the situations, and places into you, as opposed to you going out and searching for them. And we're going to discuss that when it comes to strategy, because that ties into your strategy as a generator. But that's all I have to say.
Yeah. And just to follow, Lo had mentioned it too. The fact that the thing is exciting you is what's giving you energy, right? And it keeps your energy juicy and sparkly. Like, it's the excitement part. And so you want to be mindful to follow that excitement. And the other thing too, hold on, I had something else. Oh, the excitement is in the action, not in necessarily the end result. So that is part of it too. So don't be too concerned about the end result of things. Enjoy the process. It's in the doing part. Right. So that's where you continue to manifest. Like, don't worry about the end result of things. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. It feels good. Go with it. Don't even worry about the end result. Ain't none of your business.
100%, like both things. And to what Laura was saying about the people pleasing, I'm gonna try to see if I can, like, I felt like we was having a little moment, a little third eye moment. Because you guys have so much energy, right? And you guys are, like she said, your aura is coming in. It's telling everybody like, ooh, come over here, come over here. People can kind of take advantage of that. And because you get so used to having all of these relationships around you, you tend to like overextend yourself. But it's hard for you to know that you're overextending yourself because your energy is like damn near limitless. You could just cultivate more energy. So it's hard for you to know when you're people pleasing, when you're just saying yes because you're like, oh, well, you really like me. And I think I really like you. Actually, I'm not too sure, but we get along. Like, it's great. You end up people pleasing, and people can unfortunately end up taking advantage of the fact that they feel like that, because something else that Laura touched on is that manifesting generators and generators, you guys produce your own energy, right? none of the other energy types can do that. So it's also that like we get drawn to it. I notice that when I'm around a lot of MGs, I am lit up, whether I want to be or not. You guys just are like, it's like a shot of caffeine. I'm just like, oh my God, I can do anything. Lying to myself, because projectors, I need to sit my ass down and relax. But the energy that you guys give off is just like, wow, oh my God, I can do this. That is beautiful and very inviting, but it can also be dangerous for y'all because I may really enjoy it so much that I don't know when to stop, and you won't ever stop. So we just end this together, and that becomes very, very dangerous. So I feel like that's where Laura was going with it. Laura, let me know if that was it.
Yes, that was
okay.
Exactly it.
Perfect. Okay. Yes. Okay. And everybody's like, girl, okay, we all resonating. I love to see that. Yes. Okay. So now we're going to go on to MGs, manifesting generators. Together, generators and manifesting generators are 70% of the population. A lot of the that's more than half. That's a lot of people. But it makes sense though, because you guys are the builders. You guys help us build these civilizations. We're going to need way more of that type of energy, right? Manifesting generators, my babies, my personal babies and reflectors. I can't. Okay, a beautiful hybrid of the manifestor and generator types, hence the name manifesting generator. You guys are really good at multitasking. You're designed to do more than one thing. And I know something that a lot of MGs struggle with is the fact that they feel like they can't concentrate on one thing. And I know society has made us think that you got to complete this one thing all the way through and then you go on to the next thing. Y'all aren't designed to do that. So if you're trying to live in that mold, you're going to really struggle, right? Because that you are meant to do all the things. That is literally what your energy can do without exhausting you, right? But of course, do the things that you love. You also are able to visualize what you're feeling, and then you can build it into the physical. That is absolutely beautiful thing to do. So make sure that what you're visualizing is one, your own vision, right? And that it's not influenced by others that you don't want to be influenced by. And that is really coming from a place of joy and excitement and satisfaction. Like, ooh, having this experience in my mind, oh, I would love to bring this to life. And then let your energy do that, okay? And know that, again, that might mean doing that while doing another vision and completing something else. Allow yourself to multitask. That is a bit of your superpower, okay? And you guys have super high energy, like we just talked about. It's that inviting energy. People can just come around you and it's very infectious. It's like, oh my God, this is amazing. So you do want to have that level of discernment that generators also need too, and making sure that the people that are around you are not around you for your energy. Because even if we don't have the language, we understand the sensation and the feelings of it all. It's like, I just like being around this person because it feels good. And we don't want you hanging around energy vampires. Okay. Laura, Charlie.
Yes, I got a few things. So one, like we said, the manifesting generator, the energy is just like the generator. It's open and enveloping. But the like little façon of manifestor that I love about manifesting generators is you guys are either all in or all out. That energy, you kind of know a little bit better than your fellow generator when you're about to be with something or not. So it's like, you know, you're either going to fully commit, or people are going to be like, what the hell? Why didn't you? How did she just bail? Like, what is going on? So that's, I would say, one of the big differences between the manifesting generator and the generator, as well as the manifesting generator is all about shortcuts. And that comes with like the multitasking. You can, if you need something to be done fast, ask a manifesting generator. So I look at it like, if the goal is to make somebody laugh, the manifesting generator is a meme, whereas the generator is a well thought out reel. Like, hold on, we're gonna plan the shots, the cuts. It has to be. And the generator is like, the manifesting generator is like, I'm gonna just type up this meme and post it and be done. So you know, honor the fact that you're able to multitask and you are able to probably do things faster than everybody. But with that, being able to do things faster than everybody, you have to remember that, one, not everybody can kind of speak things into existence like you guys. Not only are you the generator that has the workforce, you are the manifesting generator. So you take that manifesting ability to speak what you want and make it happen. Everybody can't move like y'all. So it's a blast to be around y'all, but just remember that, you know, we all ain't on your level. The other thing to remember as a manifesting generator is with the shortcuts comes the ability to not check your work twice. So, you know, when you have something and you think you've done, give it to somebody else, maybe a projector, to look over your work and be like, girl, you kind of missed something. You got to go back a little bit. If you have a manifesting generator child, they're going to be done with their homework like that. As a parent, it'll be like, all right, let me just see this because I feel like there might have been something, you know, that you overlooked. So, you know, just remember that you're fast. You can get it done faster. You can multitask. And that's a gift. But just know that, you know, you got to look over your work sometimes. And that's it.
So I really appreciate manifesting generators because I have like a close cousin that I'm always around. And before human design, I just did not understand her life. Like it felt so chaotic to me that I'm just like, what are you doing? What is happening? But one thing I realized about manifesting generators is that their how-to is inside of them. Right. So because they're multi-talented and they're going to be putting things together and just doing whatever, they're kind of creating a path that probably haven't been seen before. Therefore, there is no blueprint. They are kind of using their soul to guide them on this blueprint. Right. And so that's something to keep in mind, that you kind of just doing your own thing. And people are not going to get it, not going to understand it. Follow where you're being led to, because your how-to is inside of you. And so your passions and your desires, they are going to be your signposts on which way to go, what to get involved with, what not to. Another thing is, because they're so multi-talented and multi-capable, right? You may end up not finishing things, right? You may stop in the middle of something and be like, all right, I'm done with this. Trust that whatever you gain, whatever knowledge, whatever information you were able to gain from that experience, that's what you needed. Right. And that whether or not you need it right now or in the future, like you're going to utilize that information. So people may think like, oh, if you start something, you got to finish it. That don't have to be your life. And honestly, it's not supposed to be your life, but it's up to you on what feels good for you. But generally, you don't have to finish things or have an end goal. And with that being said, try to be mindful when you're committing to things in the future, because you may be into something right now and it may sound really, really good. And you're like, oh, a month from now, I'll do it. That month come, you ain't excited about it. And that's okay. Like you can say, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. Right. But the world is used to us committing and following through. But you can get okay with committing and also being like, I personally don't commit to things. Right. I tell people I'll let you know. That's just me though, because I know that I might not have the energy for it a month from now or 2 weeks from now. I'm not doing that. And I'm okay with saying I'm no longer doing it. That's just how I live. But I know that it took a while for other people outside of me to understand that, because they thought that I was just fickle. And I'm just like, I'm a selective participant. What can I say? So manifesting generator, you guys motivate me to live my best life. And so I want to share that with you.
Oh my gosh. Oh. My heart. Okay, that was just so beautiful. Shout out my MGs, shout out my manifestors, shout out my generators, projectors, I see you. Last but definitely not least, the reflectors. Y'all are 1% of the population, hence why we were very excited when we got ourselves a reflector. Y'all are the unicorns of the world, okay? And I'm trying to explain it without going into the centers, and it's actually proven to be a little like interesting, but you're here to try on different life experiences, okay? Y'all are shapeshifters, and that's a really beautiful thing. You can literally reflect the environment that you're in, but that's also maybe your pain point, right? Because if you're not in a healthy environment, you're reflecting that, but you're also feeling that internally of like, damn, is there something wrong? You start to take in your environment way more on a subconscious level. So it's super important that you guys are in healthy environments that help you to feel better in exploring yourself and all the things that you're here to do. You're going to try on many different, like Charliie says, try on many identities throughout your life. And it doesn't mean that you don't know yourself. Yourself is the experience of sampling different things. And that's something that a lot of reflectors tend to struggle with. because it's just like, well, I feel like I'm supposed to just know who I am. And I do want to touch on this before I let the ladies talk, because I'm deeply enamored by reflectors from the feminine divine purpose and point of view. You guys do have all open centers, which essentially means that your energy is not as consistent, right? But I want to also point out the fact that you guys have this ability to really speak to the divine, to really see the divine. And if you choose to focus in on divine source, God, whoever you call on to in your time of need, allow that to be the filter and then project that out into life. Life may become a little bit more easeful for you to navigate, because then you'll be putting yourself in these environments and experiences that reflect divinity, as opposed to the nuances and the chaoticness of humanity that you've probably been experiencing majority of your life. Okay. Laura, Charlie, let me know.
The aura for a reflector is resistant and sampling. So when you think about that, it's an aura that's like, but like, all right, let me try it out. So as Lotus was saying, it is very important that you are around nurturing environment, nurturing people, because you literally serve as a mirror to everything around you, people, place, thing. So it's like there's a beauty with reflectors, because it's like there's a natural selflessness to you, a selflessness to you. You know, you're here once again to show people, you know, it's the mirror. So if you're doing good, the reflector is like, yo, we're doing great. We're out here shining right now. But if things are off, it's a nice way to have somebody that you can look at and be like, oh no, I don't know what we did, but we fucked up. So, you know, there's a beauty in knowing a reflector, because you can have it's your own, the person that is close to you in your life could be that personal signpost of like, how are we doing? Especially if you're in a relationship with a reflector, it's like, are we good? Because if we're good, they're going to be good. If they're off and they can't tell you why they're off, something is off. So that's something to remember when you are dealing with any type of reflector. Literally, what you put out is being put right back and shown to you. So yeah, that.
Yes, well, I'm really excited to know that there's a reflector around, because I was starting to question whether or not. Okay. So one thing I will say, just looking at the chart, right? I have like a open G center, as well as I have an undefined G center and an open emotional center, right? So I feel like I'm always taking an energy too. So I really resonate with reflectors, and the fact that you guys are clean slates, right? Like if you're not attached to an identity or attached to a specific way of being, you are literally here to just experience. And that means that you don't have a set energy level, right? It changes from day to day, from moment to moment. Your environment is so important to you, because you're constantly going to be picking up things from it. Yeah. And so if you like generally just allow your soul to express however it wants, you will be in flow. There will be no resistance. But when you're trying to like box yourself into an identity or be something all the time, then that creates a resistance, right? And so like you're not aligned with your own truth, because you're just here to be. And that can express in so many different ways. So like give yourself that permission to just be like, I don't need to box myself in. I don't have to be able to explain who I am to you. Like I'm everything. That's my favorite saying. I'm everything and nothing at all. So that means like I get to be a free spirit. And that means from moment to moment, I get to express in a way that my soul is literally inviting me to, right? Because we are here to create. Life is expressing through us, right? And if we just like let go and flow, and a reflector is here to do all of that and to show us like where we are and how good or not so healthy an environment is. And so you can go into spaces and be like, this don't feel good, and dip, or this don't feel good, let's see what needs to be shifted around. And so like you really are the plug, you are the go. Like thank you show us the way.
I just love this. Yes, Chesney, I just read your comment. When we get into strategies and authorities, it's just, you're going to notice that a lot of these things that we're talking about, you naturally gravitate to, you naturally do. Allow yourself to really resonate with that, because you're going to see that you've kind of always been operating in your design, it just may not have been clear. You may not have the correct verbiage or maybe the clearest vision, but you'll naturally see, especially when we go to strategies, because Chesney, you're gonna cackle. But okay, let's get into the next part. We're at strategies. Yeah, do we have any questions before we get into strategies? Anyone have any questions? Feel free to hop off mute to ask your question if that's faster, or drop it in the chat. Anything on clarity that you need. We want to make sure that y'all are good before we get into the next step. If not, y'all can do a little thumbs up or on the icon, the reaction, so that we know it's good to move on. We don't want to rush anybody in their processing. Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, all right, let's do it. Strategies, ladies. Charliie, you ready?
So strategies is all about how you're going to manifest, right? Like how you draw your dream life to you, right? So just like Laura was talking about your aura, right? Like whether or not your aura is like pulling things closer to you or kind of repelling things, or, you know, like this, your strategy goes into that. It connects with that. Like, so how your aura is showing up and how you're able to align your truth with what's being presented to you in life, right? So the first one I'm going to go over is the manifestors. And when you are following your strategy with your authority together, like you are able to manifest and create the life, your dream life, right? And it's an easeful and flowy way. The thing about, I think Lo talks a lot about Lo talks a lot about the feminine divine energy and the fact that it could be chaotic, but at the same time, it's also a flow. It gets to just be. And so that's kind of like what we're talking about when we're talking about strategies, right? Like things are going to, like for the manifestor, your strategy is to inform, right? So you're not here to make things happen. You're not here to make things happen, right? You're meant to go on and do your own thing, which doesn't involve asking anyone's permission. You're just here to inform those who will be affected potentially by your decisions of what you're going to do and how you're going to go about it, right? So you want to openly share what you're doing, thinking, working on, considering. And this is how you inform. The informant isn't because I'm telling you because I need your permission. No, I'm telling you so that you know what I'm doing so that you don't get in the way, right? Because when you don't inform people, that's when you kind of meet resistance, because now they're like, well, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? You know, they have all these questions and it kind of like takes you out of your flow, because now you got to sit back and be like, well, I'm doing this because of this. But if you just start off by informing those who it may potentially affect, then hopefully it will be more easier for you to just flow into what you are going to do. So people will want to follow you free, big, unapologetic self, because you are here to be big. And this is what you are here to just do. And so, yes. So if you just inform people, that is literally all your strategy, all you have to do to create ease for yourself.
And I just want to touch on before you go into the next strategy, lovingly inform. Okay. As someone who lives with a manifestor, loving happening, because what you'll also find out too is that your community is going to be for it, right? Especially if they are for you. Once you start to really find your people, they're not going to be like, wait, I don't understand. I get it. Okay, you're going to do this? Cool. But just lovingly let us know. A lot of times manifestors can be very direct, like this is what's happening. And then it feels like you're telling us what's going to happen where we don't really have a say-so, where no, you don't have to ask permission, but you can also just do it in a loving way of like, hey, I'm just letting you know it's the direction that I'm going in. And then it's up to us to be like, okay, let me move out your way so you can get to your destination, or choose violence. It depends on the person and the experience in the relationship. But I do want to emphasize that for any of my manifestors out there, okay? Okay.
Laura, you good? Or you got anything? Okay. So the next ones I'm going to talk about is the generators and the manifesting generators, right? So because they have the same authority, and their authority is to respond. Remember, we're talking about they are here to get excited about life, right? And so that is the response. Their excitement or their happiness, their joy is the response. And so with the response, responding is about only doing things that come across your path that you can literally feel a full body yes. So you're excited about it and you want to do it. So that's the things you want to engage in. And you'll know because you will feel it within your body that that is a yes for you. I always recommend, right, with human design, period, everything is an experiment, right? So, because what something may feel like for you, it may feel different for someone else, but you'll learn what's aligned by practicing, right? By testing it out and experimenting with it. So you'll get a vibe of like, all right, I know when this is a full body yes for me, and I know when it's a no. And so, like, more of yeses will create more energy so that you can say yes more and respond to things that really light you up. Right. So you're not meant to just know what you want out of thin air, right? You have to have a stimulus, something outside of you to respond to. One thing I will say, and I'm trying to practice with my cousin because she is a manifesting generator, is like asking them specific questions, right? Like, because their response or their gut response isn't open-ended questions, right? They're very like yes or no, black and white. You want to ask specific questions like, do I want to eat Thai? Yes or no. Do I want to eat Chinese food? Yes or no. Do I want to become a drill instructor? Yes or no, right? So kind of like asking very specific questions so that you can get the answers to what you're being led to.
To piggyback off of what Charlie said too, teach your community that. Now that you know that as a manifesting generator, you can ask them, can you reword that question to a yes or no? Like, let your community help you out, okay? Like, almost all of my best friends, with the exception of the projectors, are MGs. I've had to learn that reforming my questions helps us get to the end result faster, because it is true. MGs move very quickly, but they kind of get held up in the yes or no part. And something else for all energy types to remember is that, like, your mind is outdated. So a lot of times we're trying to think through these things, and you really need to practice on feeling through them. And that shows up in different ways. It might be a split yes or no. It might be let me wait on my emotion really quickly to check that out. We're going to go into that in authorities, but our minds are outdated. And that's also what human design supports a lot too. And you understanding to get into the new mind, which is understanding your feeling and dropping into your body, that practice of embodiment, which is also feminine divine energy as well. So just make sure that you're not thinking these things through, because a lot of manifesting generators, they struggle because they try to make a logical decision when they should really be feeling through, does this feel satisfying to me? Not, it could, but no. Does it feel satisfying to me? Yes, it does. If it's anything other than a yes, it does, it's a no. And that can help you to get clearer, like Charlie said, so you can build up that momentum and receive more of that energy that you actually do want.
Laura? No, okay. So the next one is projectors. So you will see a lot around, it will say, wait for the invitation. We are kind of more of become the invitation. And it's so when I first learned about projectors and the whole wait for the invitation, I got it. Because the thing is, right, we're here to guide, right? We're here to teach, to guide, to show people the way, right? Because we have a big picture view where we can see where the issues are. All right, you could have did this differently. This is where you messed up, like whatever. So we have this big picture view. But sometimes no one asked you. No one asked you, right? And so when no one asks you, because of the way our aura works, people will shut down, right? Like one thing, yes, Fatima, no one asked you. One thing I have personally experienced is like people like literally blocking off my energy. I can feel it in my chest. Like if I'm giving advice that no one asked for and they are offended specifically by it, I can literally feel it in my chest that there was no invitation, right? So you want to become the invitation. You want to be available so people know that not only that you exist, but what your genius is. Each projector is here to do something differently, right? Though they're here to guide, what are they specifically guiding on? I see the difference when I first started out like coaching and I had this general thing. And now I'm very specific. Like I'm only here about truth. Like that's all I care about is you living your best life and being authentic, right? Now people are clear what I do. But when I wasn't clear, it was just like, oh, girl, you exist, but okay. But when you are very clear about what you do, even if it's changing along the way, like people know how to find you. They know how to connect with you. And therefore you meet the people that are aligned for you. Because every person is going to get a projector. But every projector isn't for every person. And so you just want to be mindful about like, yes, you're here to guide people to live a better and a good life, right? But how you go about it is so important, and you have to wait for the invitation. You need to wait to be recognized, because if people don't recognize what your genius is and you're just out here giving information, it's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's here to make our lives better, more easeful. So that is the projector's role. And so your strategy is to become the invitation, right? Become the authority, and whatever it is you're called to do, whatever lights you up or excites you, follow that, and people will recognize you. But first, you have to recognize yourself. You have to recognize your own genius, because your energy will kind of exert that out, right? Like, people will be able to read your energy, whether you know it or not, whether they're consciously doing it or not. They will know whether you have embodied that identity or that specialty that you are saying that you hold. And so when you trust yourself first, then other people will be able to see it as well.
So I have something to add for this one. So when projectors hear like wait for the invitation, it's just like, all right, well, what the hell am I supposed to do until the invitation comes? And I feel like one of the real strategies for projectors is a 3-tier strategy. It is study, play, rest. That's it. In terms of, you can't get and be the invitation if you haven't mastered or found something that you are truly passionate about to be recognized for. So when you are out here waiting to become the invitation, live your best life. Do the things that fulfill you. You are not here to, well, maybe I should do this so I could get this. Like, no, follow what excites you, what lights you up. Because as projectors, we are here not only to guide, but to master systems that help us guide. So it's like, if you're into something, a new topic, explore that. Share what you've learned and loved with other people, like with just yourself. Because I know with social media, it's like, well, how do I put myself out there? Like, just share what you've learned. Like, today I was reading human design and I just found this interesting. And it's like, you're not talking to anybody but yourself. You're just sharing your passions, and people are going to recognize like, oh shit, that person has something I need, and they will be drawn to you. So it's like, don't think that you have to do anything. What you have to do is be yourself and make sure that you are doing things that you love. And that is how you become and get the invitation.
Yes, I want to add on really quickly. I mean, of course, all 3 projectors will talk about this part, because what else would we be doing? Just to add on too, projectors need projectors, okay? So it's like Charliie said, eventually you will be able to do that, to be able to see your true self. But I found through my own experience that it's through having a conversation with my own projector, and I have my projectors in the room too. Charliie and Fatima are my personal projectors besides Laura, where I can talk to, and they actually show me who I am. A lot of times we forget our greatness, and the fact too that projectors, we can adapt really quickly. We learn information really well too. So it becomes easier for us to embody. So we can get so excited about human design and go through this book and really be able to show up in a way that feels like we've studied it for years. And sometimes you kind of combat that knowingness because you're like, well, I've only studied it for like 2 or 3 months, but you're here to guide, and you're here to help other people understand this thing. Trust in what excites you, right? And share it, like Laura said, and you'll find that you become a master with more ease, sharing through excitement. So study what you care about, study what you love, right? And again, when you are sharing it, keep in mind that not everybody wants to hear it, and just read the room. Really read the room. Like, oh, you look like you're getting bored. Okay, let me bring it back. Eventually, you'll just attract the people around you, and they'll just want to hear from you. A lot of times too, my projectors who are self-employed are like, well, if I have to become the invitation or wait for the invitation, how do I get my client to things like that? And it really comes back down to you embodying your truth, embodying that excitement, and people will naturally be drawn to you, like in a way that feels almost supernatural. Like all of my clients, I didn't reach out for them. I literally just was myself and really enjoyed what I was doing in my life, and they sought me out. And you have to understand and open your mindset up to that, because if you don't, you're going to continue to try to put yourself out there, and you're going to continue to receive rejection. And that's a lot to take as a projector, because it's just like, I can see that if you did it this way, your life would not be in the shambles that it is in. But sometimes people want their life to be in shambles and you need to mind your business. Okay. So just understand that as you're moving in that space.
I just want to add one more thing. Like piggybacking off of what Lotus just said, you have to remember that the projector aura is focused and absorbed. It's outward, it's not inward. So a lot of times we are able to sit with somebody and figure out their life. And when it comes to taking that information and applying it to us, we can't do it. So it is so important that a projector find another projector, because you really need somebody to see and recognize you, because a lot of the things that you have, it's going to be hard to see. And you'll be like, oh no, but this is, you'll downplay certain things. And people are like, no, but this is what you need to tackle. Another thing I just want to bring up for projectors. We are not here to cold call. We are not here to chase down. We don't chase down money. We don't cold call. We don't do all of that. We didn't really talk about it, but we will be talking about it again. The signposts of each type. And for projectors, the signature theme to know when you're in alignment with your energy type is success. So you have to have the belief and faith to know that, once again, as long as you're out here studying, resting, and playing, and truly involved in things that make you happy and you're getting good at it, the recognition, the clients, all of that will come. Trust me. So that's just what I wanted to add.
Yeah. Should I read the question out loud if you want to answer? Hold on. Sorry, I lost it. I don't know how. Oh, do you ever
chat too?
Okay, yeah. So Laura, if you want to answer, do you ever feel like you love too many things and maybe like you shouldn't share some things?
Well, I mean, now this is like, what are we talking about? Like on social or just with friends? Because I love so many things, and sometimes I share things and people are like, okay, cool, sis, we didn't ask you. But when we're talking about sharing in terms of that recognition, I'm speaking specifically on, I guess, work lens, like what you want to be recognized and invited into. So, if you're out here and you're looking to like write books and you want that invitation for a publisher to take you in, share your work. Share the things that bring you joy. Don't go out here cold calling and sending out your manuscript. You have to share the things that you want invitations for. Like if it comes to like, what should I be sharing versus what I should not? I mean, with your friends, share whatever, because who knows what they might be interested in when you share. But I'm speaking specifically with social media, and when it ties to what you wanted to be invited for, share those things that you want the invitation for is what I would recommend.
That was a word right there. That was really beautiful. Yes. I'm also just going to read out my answer because I realized that the chat may not be in the replay. So for that question, I also just said that I ultimately find that everything that I love and I'm excited about is woven together in some divine way. They all just intertwine. And I mean, I love very random things and they all find their way into the mix. It's also that they have their divine place and time throughout life. My concern is when I follow my excitement and I make sure I'm well rested. Like that is also so crucial, because trying to figure out, projectors can suffer from decision fatigue really, really fast. Like we have too many options. We're like, hold up, this is too much. So it's important to be well rested. So that way you have the energy needed to have the ability to make a decision, and that decision to be based off of your excitement. When I do those two things, it becomes very apparent, like clear as day, what I should be talking about and focusing on in that moment. If I'm not well rested, all of a sudden, every idea feels right. Everything feels good. And I feel like I can do it all. Get your sleep, stay hydrated, and be excited. And you will be able to know this is it. It's intuitive.
Okay. Before I move on, I do want to just piggyback over what Laura said about like sharing what excites you, because think about it, when you are excited about something, you're going to align with the people who's also excited about it. That way you ain't trying to convince nobody about nothing. You're not trying to make them stay. You're not begging them to stay. You ain't trying to lower your prices so they can stay. Like, you're going to get the people that's meant for you if you follow your excitement and share those things and work in that space. All right. So we are up to the reflectors. Okay, so reflectors are the only one who wait a lunar cycle. So, like I told you, so one thing about me is that I am a person who learned through experience and also people watching. I'm obsessed with the human experience, right? So I'm always people watching, and I usually learn from people, right? I read a whole bunch of stuff, but then I want to see it out in the world. I need to see it expressed. So with reflectors, one thing people say is to wait a lunar cycle, right? And it's written everywhere, and it's like these 28-day lunar cycle. I was still like, what? Huh? So please, Laura and Lo, piggyback off this, but I'm gonna say this for reflectors, and please follow up with me and let me know how this go if you test this out. So something I read that I really resonated with is that reflectors are going to get nudges, right? Like you're going to be invited to something. But the thing is, you're not supposed to react to the first nudge you get. The reason why you shouldn't react to the first nudge you get is because it may not be for you. And it may not be for you because you're picking up so much energy around you because you are a reflector. So the first nudge you don't respond to. And so what usually is happening, the universe is going to keep nudging you for that thing that you're meant to do. So please let me know. Okay, thank you. So yeah, so you're going to keep being nudged to do this thing. And as it keeps coming up, you'll eventually know, all right, this is the thing for me. Right. But if the nudge doesn't come again and again and again, it ain't for you. Right. It was clearly for someone else or for some other time. And so when I hear about the 28-day cycle, what I really hear is like, don't say yes right away because it may not be for you because of the fact that you're picking up energy and that you're here to reflect. But if it keeps showing up in your energetic field coming to you, then it's more likely for you. And so the whole thing is for you to wait to respond. But the whole point is that you are responding to something outside of you, but you need to wait to do it. So I don't personally know if you need the whole 28 days, right? So you please let me know, right? It may be for bigger issues, right? Like marriage, buying a house, right? Things that you really like, I don't know about that. But like, I think everyday things, you probably don't need as much, but the whole thing with the 28 days is that it's all about the nudge, and it's about the nudge being repetitive. It needs to come more than once just to be sure it's for you to do.
Okay, I just want to, is it okay? Because I'm really excited. Something that I was reading about too, and Chesney, I just feel like this is going to be so exciting for you that, yeah, the lunar cycle is super important, but that plays into the feminine divine as well. The feminine divine is guided by the moon. The moon is all about slowing down and knowing when to tune in, right? The moon phases. When do I need to retreat? When do I need to focus on myself? When do I need to take action? When I need to illuminate and shine my brightest? There's a phase for each part. And you can go through that process as a reflector, knowing those moon phases. That actually really does help you. They also suggest that you study transits because it really does help you understand what's happening. So even if the moon is in full moon in Taurus right now, that is something that can help you on your decision-making as well. Allow yourself to have those resources and tools. I've also found that the reflectors that I have met are into astrology. That is a resource for you. It really will help you to organize and to have a bit of an anchor, almost like a cosmic anchor. So you can show up on these big decisions that will probably take you a full moon cycle and still being able to use the 8 moon phases as pinpoints for something a little bit more smaller. That's not as grand as marriage or these big life decisions, something that's happening on a day-to-day. You can run through it and be like, well, where am I at in this process? Like personally, I'm in a moment of retreat. So maybe me going to this party that I just got invited to may not be the vibe because that's not where I'm at right now. I'm at the new moon phase where everything is black and I'm turning in, I'm focusing on myself. That really does help you to know where you're at on a day-to-day basis. So I strongly suggest that for any reflector, get into at least the 8 moon phases, if not astrology itself. It really does guide you. Laura, please, because I know
I agree with everything. I'm taking it from, I take the 28-day cycle as a metaphor in terms of like the real thing is teaching us patience. And I feel like the beauty of being a reflector is that like, I'm so open and I'm constantly reflecting people in my environment that when it's time to tap in, I don't have to rush for anybody. Y'all are going to wait until I have this answer. So I would say to Chesnay and any other reflectors that are listening to this, don't ever let anybody rush you for anything. Everybody will wait until you are ready for your decision. You got time. Like you got time. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. Always reclaim your time, because if it's something big, you don't need to take 7 days, 14 days, 21 days. When you take as much time as you need, it might be 2 lunar cycles. But I think the beauty of being a reflector is, because you're so influenced around your environment and around the people, that when it's time to truly do something for yourself, it takes literally as much time as you need. And we live in this fast-paced world where the reflector is always like having to be at this fast-paced pace as everybody moves, where it's like, no, hold on for a second. For 1 second, y'all are going to just slow down and wait for me. And so own that, sis. Like, do not let people rush you. They will wait. You can slow down. Everybody could just chill the fuck out. And that is just my message to reflectors. Like, take your time. Take your time. Take as much time as you need. And yes, that's what the feminine divine is all about. So there we go.
Okay, I think now that Charliie, we're on the, and I know we have 7, and I know we said 8:30, so I just want to do a quick time check to make sure that we'll be able to get through that in this time frame. But does anyone have any questions about the strategies? Any questions that pertain to how you should be able to show up and navigate in the world?
No. If everything's good, give us a thumbs up. And then do me a favor. I just need everybody to type in their authority in the chat, because I can at least start with that, just so we're on time.
That's perfect.
So while everybody is typing their authority, I'm going to take us to the world of the A, the TSA. We almost at the gate, y'all. We about to go on this journey. So now we're finally at the A. So as we just discussed, your energy type will determine your strategy. But in human design, as you see with the panel, you can have the same human design type, but have a completely different authority. So if you want to think about it, your strategy is external. It's the world showing you a sign, except if you're a manifestor, then that sign comes in because you already know all about what you want to do. So if the strategy is external, and it's like, if you're a projector and you're wondering, like, should I take on this client? Should I move to this place? You got the invitation. Congratulations. You didn't do anything. You followed your strategy. It's here. But now how do we know if that invitation, or if you're responding, or if you're informing is right for you? That's when we're going to turn into the authority. And the authority is internal. It's you giving your answer to the world. So it's the authority that truly guides your decision making. And in human design, we believe that the authority is the true decision making factor and not your mind. Nothing comes from our mind but like concepts, dreams, like things that we're just breaking down. But when it comes to decisions, we should never think about it. And as we go over the authorities, you're literally going to see no decision actually comes from your head. And once again, authority is for like big life decisions. It's not like, should I order takeout tonight? Should I cook? Like, you can figure that out. This is like, oh my gosh, should I relocate to this place for this job? Should I take on this client? Should I be with this person? It's for real big life events. So there are 7 authorities. And within the 7 authorities, there are 2 types of authorities. There are inner and outer. So I'm going to break down each one of those, but just know that the authority is like a personal inner compass that guides us through our life. And it's like, some people are going to, as we see, some people have instant, like, I know right now. And just like we talked about with the reflector, some people are like, yo, you're going to wait and you're going to keep waiting until I'm ready. So let me just go into the chat and see what we got so I can, okay, we got some emotional, splenic, sacral. Okay. All right. So we're going to just start with the emotional, because that is actually 50% of the population. And that is an authority that is open to all types. So I'm going to start each authority with like a question that you should always ask yourself if you have this authority. So for the emotional authority, it's like, am I good on this or do I need more time? So you have to understand that emotions are true wavelengths. And, depending on what authority, what channels you have, that can dictate the type of emotional wavelength that you carry. But what that means is if you're feeling good and somebody's like, yo, sis, do you want to help me paint my crib tomorrow? You're like, hell yeah, let's do it. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow comes and you're not feeling as good as you felt yesterday. It's going to be like, oh shit, why did I say that? I'm going to have to bail now. I'm going to have to really because I'm not feeling it. So the thing that you have to notice when you have an emotional authority is you have to ride the wave. You have to let the highs and the lows come until you reach a level where you are at you don't feel good or bad about it. You just now have emotional clarity as to should I do this or should I not? My best advice for anybody with an emotional authority is to sleep on it. Like, no matter what somebody asks you, I'll get back to you. I'll get back to you and take as much time as you need. So once again, this is something that you're not here to be spontaneous with your answers. And once again, it's for big things. Like, should we move to Mexico? Yes, I'm ready. I'm gonna pack my bags. And then tomorrow you're like, oh no, what did I do? So, this is for the big things. Sleep on it. Give it time. Allow yourself to ride the wave. Like, oh my God, this is so good. Oh my God, this sucks. Okay, you know what? I found emotional clarity, and only you will know when the emotional clarity comes. I can't tell you. You'll feel when you no longer have emotions tied to that decision that you are now in the right mind to make that decision. Does that make sense? So on my emotional authority, yeah, give me okay. The next one I'm going to talk about is the sacral. And the sacral is about 37% of the population, and only generators and manifesting generators can have this because this is really that sacral life energy. When we talk about being energetic and non-energy, we talk about the sacral center, and we'll one day discuss those centers. But this is a yes or no authority. So as Charliie was saying, when you have generators and manifesting generators, try to reframe your questions where it's yes or no, because that really helps them. Now, along with the yes or no questioning, the person is going to want to really check into their sacral, and your sacral is out here making sounds. Now, as we grow up, we're told that and are rude. Like, say yes, say no. No, somebody with a sacral authority needs to honor those sacral sounds. They need to trust their body to give them the response, like or mm-mm. So, especially with kids, it's like, do you want Chinese tonight? Do you want pizza? This is your kid tapping into their self to know what is truly good for them. And it's the same as we get older. So, it's starting with small things. If you're not used to tapping into yourself and answering with your body, that you want to play around with, like, do I feel like going out tonight? But it's really going to be within your body, within that gut area, that you will feel if something is right for you or wrong for you. And just like we were talking with the generators, in terms of that people pleasing, always check your motivation before saying yes or no, because it might sound fun, like you want to get into this job, and then you do it and it's just like, oh no. So, always ask yourself, am I trying to please somebody, or is this something that I truly want to do? Ladies, did you have anything to add to, I realize, the emotional or the sacral?
Well, the sacral one, I do want to say too, like, if you ever feel like you're not getting anything or feel mixed, check in with yourself, because you may be trying to rationalize your decision making, which is keeping you from your body, because now you don't move to the head. So, but I think that's what all of these like body type authorities, right? Like, the reality is a lot of times we can't hear it, or it's too quiet because we're so used to using our head and not connected to our bodies. So
I do want to just add on, just for general. So when we're talking about energy and energy work, emotions are energy in motion. Literally, it's in the word. Emotions, energy in motion. It's meant to come into the body, filter through the head, go out through the feet. A lot of times it gets stuck here. And then we experience things like depression or anxiety. We feel overwhelmed. We don't know what to do. We can't make any choices. You're literally only using like 10% of the body. That's a lot of energy in a very concentrated place. It's going to be very hard for you to think anything through. But if you're able to kind of connect back to your breath and move through the emotions also only last about 90 seconds in the body, and let it go. Take a deep breath, let it move through the body. You'll find that it's a lot easier for you to make that decision because you're not doing it from your head, which is outdated and living in the past. You're doing it from your body that is remembering what you've experienced and helping you to create new ones. Okay, I just want to put that out there because that's really helpful in understanding your emotions.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so yes, that is the factual. So now I'm going to move on to splenic because that seems to be a lot of us as well. So the question you asked with the splenic authority is, how do I feel about this right now? Right now. So about 11% of the population has a splenic authority, and this is exclusive to projectors and manifestors only. Now, with this authority, you are designed to be very intuitive and you can make decisions in the moment. You truly are one of the few that knows right now if somebody's like, do you want to move to Mexico? Your body will be like, yep or no. You can, so with the splenic, they say it's a full body response. Like some people say, you know, they get butterflies. Some people might truly be repelled and feel sick if it's not for them. Some people might feel like they're on a roller coaster about to drop. Some people are like, oh, I gotta poop. Like but it's your whole body screaming at you. And what I like to say is the splenic is mad sassy. It's the, I said what I said, I'm not repeating myself authority. So it's an intuition that does not last long. And if you miss it, it's going to be like, well, you should have listened to me the first time. So a lot of times people with the splenic authority that aren't tapping into their intuition right away might realize that like, oh my God, you know, I knew this was so wrong. I knew I should not have gotten myself into this and now I'm here. So if you find that you have the splenic authority and you have found yourself in situations where you are like, I knew it, start to listen to your body. Because at some point, your body gave you a red flag and you saw it, you felt it, something came up, but then you just was like, nah. Start listening to that because that is your authority letting you know whether something is truly right for you or truly wrong for you. And, you know, it's just helping you cultivate this awareness with your body's intelligence and being more in tune with yourself. That will, you know, get you more confidence as you are starting to be able to make bigger decisions in the moment. So remember, it doesn't last long. Just trust your instinct. Your body will tell you if something is good for you or not, like, period. Like, I don't know what it feels like. I know we have some splenics. Y'all probably like, oh no, girl, I've been, So just listen to yourself. And that is that. Okay. So
can I touch on one thing before we get into this authority? It always comes back down to energy work for me. That's just something I'm very excited about, projector. Okay, so your body talking to you. Our body talks to us all of the time. Most of the time we are not listening. So it will start to cause us pain and discomfort because it's trying to say, sis, bruh, so I need you to focus on what it is that I'm asking you to do, and you're not listening to me. So I also would encourage you to, you don't have to get the book, but it's a really great book called Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. They have the PDF, the encyclopedia online, and I'll drop it in the chat as well. And this book allows you to go in the back and you can see what each pain or discomfort in the body actually means, because it really is a language that your body's talking to you in. So for instance, if you find yourself having a lot of lower back pain, that means that you are struggling with finances and making financial decisions and you have a lot of financial worry. That helps you better understand how to make your decision when you can trust your body and know like, oh, you know what? Wait, I may not want to do that because I feel like I don't have the money to do that. That changes the entire conversation and understanding how you're making your decisions. So I'm going to drop the name of the book in the chat, but I wanted to just kind of plug that in there because it's really, really helpful.
So this is my authority type. And it's so interesting when I learned about it because I'm just like, I've always done this. Like, I don't really make logical decisions. People tell me all that doesn't make sense. That's fine. But God said. So it doesn't really matter if it made sense to me. So it's not a rational, clearly it's not a rational authority. But more than that, think about it. Because it's telling us, the spleen is giving us information in the moment, it's always picking up information from our taste, from our smell, from what we're looking like. It's constantly picking up information around us so that it can give us intuition, like intuitive hits all the time, right? So we might think like something came out of the blue, but no, like it's been picking up all this information. Now it's time to do this. Now it's time to do that. And so for some, it may sound quiet, but the more you practice listening to it and actually like implementing what the guidance that you're receiving, it'll get louder for you, right? And the more you work with it, the more it enhances like most things, most gifts and skills that we have. It's just remembering that it exists within us and actually utilizing it, that we know. And I don't even know if it get louder more than that. We have more of awareness of it because we're actually being aware of it. So, yeah.
Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. So the next one I'm going to talk about, I don't think anybody in here is it, but somebody listening to the replay might be, and it's going to be the ego authority. Now, that is about 1% of the population, and that's exclusive, once again, to manifestors and projectors. The question that they would want to ask is this really what I want? Like, is my heart in this? Because the thing about the ego authority, it lives in what is called either the will, heart, or ego center. It's a little small red or not red triangle that's like kind of off center from the main thing in your body chart. Nobody has that because we don't have any ego authorities in here. But anybody that does have that, it is so important for you to literally follow your heart. Like that is such a beautiful authority. Like, it sounds so cliche, but literally you have to take this role of being selfish and saying, you know, what is in this for me? Is this what I truly want? Because this is going to be the only way that you find fulfillment if it's something that truly makes you happy. So I would say for anybody with an ego authority, only say yes to things that will truly fulfill you and make you happy. Be selfish in all of your big decisions. Like, don't take, okay, but what about my family, or what about my boyfriend or my husband, or no. Is it what I really want? And that is the key for the ego authority. Is there anything that you ladies want to add to that? No. Okay. All right. So then next is the self-projected authority. That's me. So I know a lot about this. Now, this is about 4% of the population, and this is exclusive to projectors only. Essentially, the thing you would want to ask yourself is, hear me out. Hear me out, okay? When you're self-projected as an authority, you need to have dialogue with yourself, but it needs to be with yourself at your sounding board. So somebody that you can truly trust, that will listen and advise you. Even though with this authority, you're kind of talking it out because you already know your answer. But, you know, if you're talking to your best friend and you're like, girl, I'm about to move to Mexico, and your best friend's like, and you're like, okay, but why are you doing that? You know, your soundboards are going to help you validate if this decision you want to go through is right or not. So it's more that you're talking at people and getting that stream of consciousness out and having to hear yourself say these decisions out loud that will help you gain true clarity. So that is the self-projected authority. Does anybody have anything to add for that?
I just want to say, like, make sure that your sounding boards are for you, because a lot of times you might be speaking to people that either just don't understand you or really just don't like you. And they may just want to take that idea or whatever it is that you're going off of. So please make sure that your sounding boards are people who are actually for you, that really want to witness you be your best self. That's where that discernment comes in, because you don't want to be making a decision with someone that doesn't really care about you making that decision or wants you to make a decision that's in favor of what they want.
Yes, that is super important. Like, don't be talking to everybody about your big decisions. Like, talk to people that are really for you. You know, I like to say, who you would kill and hide a body with. Okay, regardless. Now we're gonna move on to the next one, which is the mental, or it's also known as no authority or environmental authority. But this is about 2% of the population, And this is another authority that, once again, is exclusive to projectors. With this, it's the I need to see it first. So once you have been invited for an opportunity, you have to still talk like the self-projected projector to somebody as a soundboard. But the key difference is that you need to be in an environment that's grounded. So for instance, if the invitation is related to location, like if it's about moving to Mexico, it's like, hold on, I need to go to Mexico and see how it feels. Does it feel like this is the right place to be? The environment will resonate with you or not in terms of if this is, for you or not. So this actually kicks off. The mental authority is one of the authorities that is an outer authority. Everything that we just covered was inner. So, we had to listen to ourselves, listen to our intuition. But the next two that we're going to talk about are outer. So it's really your environment helping you make the decision. So mental, environmental, or no authority is what that one's called. Ladies, do you have anything else to add to that? Nope. Okay. And then last but not least, we can't forget our reflector. We have the lunar authority. And this is, once again, a truly unique authority because it is only for the reflectors, which is like less than 1%. So with this, the question you want to ask is, have I had enough time to process this? Once again, as being a completely open center, you need to shake off the influence and allow yourself time to truly reflect on what is good for you. But it's like, I don't really know what's good for me because I'm constantly drawing in from other people. This is when you want to make sure that as you're trying to make these big life decisions, that you have the right people and environment around you to help with this decision. As I was just saying with the strategy, waiting the lunar days, patience. Remember, there is no rush to your decisions. It takes as much time as you need. So my only sayings and tips for the lunar authority is when you are trying to make these big decisions, to make sure you're spending time in environments that you love, as well as talking to people that you love, because they will reflect what you should do and help you make the right decisions for your next step. Ladies, want to add anything else?
So I would say too, like just speaking about following the lunar cycle or just taking your time, right? Part of that, I like to know why I'm doing things. Sorry, I'm a curious child. Part of that is also so that you can experience different aspects of yourself, right? Because you're changing every day. So part of like that 28-day wait or that 10-day wait or whatever the wait is for different aspects of you, of your experience to actually fill into that. So that like it's a yes for us. For us, it's a whole yes. So yeah, that's one thing you want to keep in mind. The why, like part of why they say the wait to days is because you are somebody different or you express differently every day or whatever else. So that's part of the reason.
Yeah. So does anybody have any questions on authority? Because we got through all of it. Look at that.
Look at us. So proud. Please feel free to hop off mute, ask any question that might be coming up. I know it's a lot of information. You will be getting a replay so you can watch it back in your own time, go over your notes and things like that. Hopefully, you know one of us personally, or if you don't, you can reach out to us so we can walk you through anything that might be a little confusing. But please, we have 15 more minutes and we really want to make sure that we're giving y'all the space and time to process and digest. So if you have any questions on your mind, drop it in the chat or hop off mute and chit chat with us.
Charlie, you want to bring us home?
I was thinking in my mind. So I'm Miss Positivity. I'm like, I got something to say. Hold on, let's see what the chat says. Oh, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Oh, Daryl have something to say?
Daryl?
Okay, well, feel free to Yeah. I mean, feel free to, I don't know, I won't see your hand raised most likely, but if you raise your hand, put it in the chat. You got something to say after I finish or whatever. No, I don't have anything planned, but I did want to say, so with human design, this is all about experimenting. I think that one thing that was so beautiful about us three coming together is that we're all projectors. However, we express differently, right? Like my life looks so much different from theirs, but at the same time, I resonate with a lot of like how they show up. And so just because we might be the same type, we're not expressing the same, right? Like what gates are active in my chart isn't going to be the same. And therefore, I'm expressing or I have different energy that may be more consistent than others. And so this is just a reminder that like it goes beyond your type, but it's a great start. And so my hope is that this class was helpful in getting the conversation started and also encouraging you to like test some of this out. And be okay if like you test it out for a month and then you like kind of fall off for like 6 months and come back. Cause that was me. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it's like experiment with it, have fun with it, knowing that like all of this is giving you information. It's giving you more information about yourself. We live in a society that's constantly conditioning us, telling us what it means to be human. And oh yeah, it's telling us what it means to be human. And like there's no one way to get to a destination. I mean, the reality is, take it dark or whatever, we're going to die with these bodies at least are going, they're going to end at some point, right? And so my whole thing is just have fun, be here, have fun. I really believe I was born to have a good time. I'm just here to have a good time. And so I hope that like you take this information and look at your chart and use the information that your chart provides you to experiment with it. Experiment with it, have fun. Feel free to like reach out to us. We also have a Geneva app, and there's a group there where you can just join, and we're going to be more active in there. Again, we are projectors, so play with us. enjoy the process of what that might look like. But we also have that you can all join and just be a part of that community and engage with each other, learn from each other. Share what your experience has been, share what it's been like for you, because we can all learn from each other because we're going to experience this differently.
Yes, Charliie, everything you said. I guess what we can do, since everyone seems to just be so full and satisfied, Laura, Charliie kind of touched on why she got into human design. It's within her design to experiment. For me, it's exploration, same thing, same experience. I found myself learning about human design right before my Saturn return. And then my Saturn return smacked me up, beat me down a little bit. And I found myself coming back to human design with a clearer head and able to explore this new identity that's really, it was new to me, maybe consciously, but my subconscious, my soul was like, you're finally coming home to yourself. And ever since really allowing myself to study human design and get involved into it, my life has changed radically. And that's within maybe the past 2 years. My whole entire life has shifted. And if you know me or you follow me, you know that I am in a space of deep gratitude because I'm really living out my dreams. I'm really feeling very satisfied and excited in my life. And I can 100% say human design contributed to that. For me knowing my energy type, me knowing my strategy, my authority, I began to really align with experiences and relationships that allowed me to blossom and bloom. And I was able to shine brighter. And then all these opportunities started coming in where I could express my purpose and passion with ease to the world around me. So I really just hope that inspires you just to take a deeper look, to ask questions, to definitely join the Geneva app. It's absolutely free, by the way. And there's tons of resources on there as is, down to like how you should be able to eat, what environments you should be able to live in, fun little nuances like that. But it helps you to really understand yourself. And the best way to live your life is by knowing who you truly are, because then you'll know what is for you and what you're here to experience without hesitation. And you have more time to enjoy life. So I encourage you, just take it a little step further, whether it's rewatching this, whether it's joining Geneva, whether it's reaching out to us for one-on-one consultation, whatever it is, just do this for you and do this for the community that will benefit by you knowing yourself so deeply. That's really it.
That's beautiful. That's like, I feel like I should not say anything because I don't have anything deeper to say than that. I found human design during my Saturn return. And I feel like it's very interesting because I would have to ask everybody in here, like, if you are going through or have gone through the Saturn return and human design has come to you, let us know. Because it was during the time I was 30 and shit is just shaking up. I'm living with my sister and I'm realizing that I do not know this woman. She doesn't know me. Astrology just was not hitting it. Like I needed more. I needed something more personal. Because it was like, there's so much that my natal chart can tell me. I need to know about this energy. And I found human design through an astrology group. And for me, the first thing I connected to was the projector. And for me, that made so much sense because number one, I am like the number one pound for pound nap champ. Like nobody can nap more than me. And I always felt bad for the need for rest. And it was just nice getting affirmation or confirmation that like, no, boo, you need that rest. You need that rest. So like many, you know, once you start to discover your human design, especially as you start to dive deeper, like, you know, we just touched on the basics, but there is a beauty in just learning more about the energy you carry, the energy that you pick up that really starts to make sense. And it's like, you really become more in tune with your body. Like I said at the beginning, like, you know, imagine leaving the hospital and your parents got your whole like operating system manual. And it's like, oh, no, this is how she's designed. She's supposed to be taking naps. And so for me in my 30s, this was just like, yes, thank you. This makes sense. So like Lotus said, it's an experiment. This is, you know, there's nothing that you have to do in human design. It's not, once you read your chart, you're like, okay, I got to change this. No. Take what you love, leave what you don't. It's an experiment and it's a lifelong experiment. If, you know, this is the last time you hear about human design today and then you come to it 7 years later, that's more than fine. Just human design allows you to give yourself grace and it confirms who you are and what you already knew about yourself. And I feel like for so many people, especially, you know, Black women, that's freeing because it's like a lot of times we're conditioned to do this and act like this. And then you start to read your design and your makeup and the energy you carry. And you're like, okay, so I thought I was always a little strange, but this is me. So I encourage everybody to, you know, explore more into human design. It's a beautiful system. Explore the other sciences, the Yi Jing, the chakras, astrology, the Kabbalah, like they're all beautiful systems. And this just tying in together is just making it a little bit easier to understand once you understand how to read the chart. So my hope is that we'll be having more workshops where we really start to break down more about the chart. So you're like, oh my God, this makes sense. But just know that, you know, if you were looking for something out there to just really confirm who you were, I feel like you will find that in human design because once again, you could be a projector, you could be a emotional projector like a lot of people in the room, but that does not make you the same. And human design really shows that we are really uniquely different. Like there is no one chart that looks the same, even twins. So it's just like honor yourself, love yourself, accept yourself. That's all human design is about.
Yay. Okay. So if there are no questions, no comments, concerns, let us know before we hop off. And of course, just a deep gratitude for you for spending your evening with us and for being open to another way of enjoying experimenting and exploring life.
Yes, Nika, there will be. We need to figure out when, but I think the next one we're going to talk about are the centers.
Yes, we're definitely talking about centers, y'all.
And then we got to talk about the profile lines because that's one of my favorites. So
and the gates. There's things.
Girl, we're gonna
There's things to do.
There are so many things that we will talk about. So we're gonna get together and figure out like the next session. And we look forward to having you all back. And we're gonna dive even deeper into those charts. So by the end of this, y'all are gonna be like, first of all, my undefined this and that is speaking to. You're going to know all about it.
828 said it's going to get really fun. I promise.
It's going to be good. So
HD Hunnies are here and we're coming back. So just it's going to be a thing. It's a thing. It is a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing now. We made a thing. So yes. Well, yeah, I guess if that's it. Exactly. I love this for us. I really do.
But it's so necessary because I know I can speak for Laura and Charliie on this. We learn about human design, unfortunately, from white folks, whitewashing wellness. And it was very overwhelming because a lot of things that they were saying, you're just kind of like, this doesn't speak to me and my culture, first and foremost, or me and my experience as a Black body on this earth. And you have to really digest. And we've read books and we've done seminars and coaching classes and things like that, so that we can come here in this space with you all and really just key like it's us, because that's necessary when we're talking about work that can really help us relieve oppressive behavior and allow us to feel liberated in our day-to-day. So we want to create this and hopefully for it to be a series so that you guys can hear human design from people who look like you and have had similar experiences like you, because we deserve to have that as well in our wellness, right? A Black wellness experience is not the same as white wellness experience whatsoever. And it's time that we step into these roles, and as the projectors that we are, we were like, well, we might as well just do it. So here we are. And we're so happy that you guys stayed and enjoyed yourself. So thank you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
All right, everybody. I guess I'm just like, do I just end it? Like, okay, well, first I'm going to stop recording